The woman noticed her newborn baby was blind from birth. She immediately blamed her husband, suggesting it was due to his genetic issues. In truth, she knew this had nothing to do with him. She asked the nurse to take the baby for further tests while she left in a wheelchair, claiming she needed some fresh air. Little did anyone know, she had already devised a sinister plan. To avoid raising her husband's suspicions, she pretended not to be concerned about the situation. An hour later, the nurse excitedly returned with test results. Their daughter had miraculously regained normal vision. However, the baby was wearing half of a heart-shaped necklace. The nurse handed the necklace to the husband, explaining that infants shouldn't wear jewelry and advised them to be more careful. The husband looked at his wife in shock because there was an unfamiliar name engraved on the necklace. Their biological daughter had been secretly switched by the woman herself. An hour earlier, the woman had overheard in the hallway that the test results were back. Her daughter's blindness was due to genetic inheritance, and her husband's family had no history of this gene. The woman, however, had a mother who was blind from birth, something her husband didn't know. Looking at the room next door where other mothers had delivered healthy babies, the woman was overwhelmed with jealousy. When she heard that a neighboring infant was also scheduled for newborn screening, an evil thought crossed her mind. She quietly followed the nurse, picked up a dropped ID badge, and kept it for herself. Next, she found a nurse's uniform in a nearby bin and disguised herself as a medical examiner. When the broadcast system called for the nurse, forcing her to leave the examination room, the woman quickly stepped in. She took the baby from the intern nurse's hands, pretending to be a doctor's assistant, and confidently entered the examination room. Just then, the doctor announced they needed to retrieve the newborn's records from outside and asked the woman to look after all the babies. She readily agreed. As soon as the doctor left, she swiftly switched her daughter with the neighboring mother's daughter, then returned to her husband's side acting completely normal, feeling elated inside. When her husband questioned the mysterious necklace, she lied, claiming she had just bought it outside and the engraved name was one she had chosen in advance. Although confused, her husband didn't press the issue. 10 years later, as the girl grew up, her hair, eyes, and ethnicity showed no resemblance to the man's family. The grandmother insisted that the man get a paternity test, especially since the woman had always claimed to be an orphan. She wanted to know the true genetic origin of her granddaughter. When the test results came in, before the man could see them, the woman discovered what was happening. She pretended to be furious, throwing the results in the trash and loudly accusing her husband of not trusting her. What she didn't realize was that the truth could no longer be hidden. 3 days later, the man would discover everything while taking his daughter to the supermarket. There, he would encounter his actual biological daughter.